You were the WNBA's first transgender and non-binary player.
Especially Black folks, and so I know I'm in that line of folks who have had to blaze a trail. But what comes with that is like an emotional toll.
Hey guys, welcome back to another Normal Gays reaction video where we take on LGBT discourse from the perspective of two gay people who haven't quite lost our mind just yet. I'm Brad Polumbo, here with TikTok extraordinaire Clarkson Lawson. Clarkson, you a big WNBA guy?
I'm not really a basketball type of guy. I don't know. Not really a sports type of guy unless it's cheerleading or gymnastics. But let's talk about it.
Yeah, well, am not a WNBA fan. So I didn't even know that this was a thing until just this reporting and this clip from Jamel Hill's podcast. Did you know the WNBA, the women's NBA, had their first trans player? Sort of, not really, but she just retired. And she is incredibly stunning and brave, we are being told. Take a listen to this clip from Jamel Hill's podcast.
You were the WNBA's first transgender and non-binary player, and I know you have been often celebrated for carrying that distinction, but what were some of the struggles that people maybe didn't see that you were going through?
I mean, some of the struggles are just the toll of being the first. Like, I have a deep gratitude and appreciation for people in history who've been the first, especially Black folks. And so I know I'm in that line of folks who have had to blaze a trail. But what comes with that is like an emotional toll. It's like, it's lonely and it's isolating at times to be the person. Like, the analogy for me is like you're just hacking. There's no trails, so you're just in the forest hacking away, like trying to find. So you're going to get scratched and bruised, and you're going to get a little bloody, and you're going to be lonely at times because you're figuring it out.
Reminds me of when I'm like on a hike and I'm trying to get the weeds out of my face.
This is literally, guys, it's just a girl who let her mustache grow out.
Okay, I'll be honest with the viewers, you guys. When Brad first sent me this, I did not know that was a genetic female with a mustache. I truly thought that was somebody of my anatomy.
Nope.
I didn't know that. But yeah, you go, I was gonna say you go girl. You go they.
So she actually uses she/he/they pronouns, and it's like, pick a struggle.
Choose your own adventure for me, I guess. I'm gonna I'll go with she. I don't know. I anything to feel special, you know? I mean, when I used to do cheerleading and I was on a big team, it would be hard sometimes if I wasn't in the front row because I like attention. But I think maybe she just wasn't getting a lot of playtime on the court and wanted to bring herself to light. I don't know.
I just can't take seriously this idea that because she added they them pronouns to her bio and stopped waxing her stash, that she's like some trailblazer. Like,
She's
you're
actually
not
not blazing her trail at all.
she makes it sound like she is Jackie Robinson. Like she is the trans Rosa Parks of the WNBA. And it's like, no, you're just another female playing in the female basketball league who doesn't even look very like masculine or manly or whatever. But even if you do, okay, a lot of them do kinda, and that's fine. There's nothing wrong with being more muscular and more and having tattoos and being masculine looking as a female, whatever, all cool. But you're not some third thing. You're not all three things at once, and you're not a freaking trailblazer or a stunning and brave because you added fake pronouns to your player bio.
If I was trans, I'd be pissed watching this. Like, honestly, if I had dysphoria and I just saw somebody who's like, yeah, I'm just whatever, who's clearly not dysphoric about their body, and I know people are gonna be like, you're invalidating her
Yes, I
experience.
am.
And
Because
it's
it's
like,
not
yeah,
valid.
that's exactly what I'm doing. Because dysphoria has a definition, and there are people who need help with it, and we respect those people. But so many people have seen the attention that real trans people that real trans people get, and they have to have a taste of it. So then they found a way to identify as something. And it's
Yeah, I mean, now maybe a player who was otherwise not particularly remarkable will get invited on Jamel Hill's podcast, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep. And you said this player's retired now?
Yeah, that's the whole story is that she is retiring. So here's some reporting from I think one of these LGBT websites. Lashia Clarendon, the WNBA's first trans athlete, has retired. I am deeply at peace with this choice as my mind, body, and spirit know unequivocally that it's time to move on, the LA Sparks guard said in an Instagram post. Here's what I found interesting about this article, this quote. The sisterhood is what I've loved playing and will miss. Um, I thought you weren't a sister.
What do you call that?
She said, and this is the continuation of the quote. The way y'all helped me fill in my mustache, made jokes about my gender, the way I joked about my gender, the way gender is so damn fluid in our league, the way we fight to make the world better, and it always started with us. Call me crazy, Clarkson, but I thought the point of a WNBA, which is subsidized by the NBA, by the way, is that the gender was not supposed to be fluid.
If you replace the way they use gender with personality, it makes sense. That's all it is. Like, our personalities are so fluent. It's like, yeah, that's great. I love that you guys have diverse personalities and one of you wants to have a mustache and is a tomboy and one of you doesn't. That's not like it's not your gender. But I do respect that this player, I don't know if she would have been able to go into the NBA. Um,
No, 0% chance.
Right, but I do think, like, if the roles were reversed, right, and let's say a man was identifying as non-binary, it still would be just as crazy, but if he was still playing in the male league, I'd have less of a problem with it. So I guess this is it's more just like a weird thing, but it's not necessarily an issue for me because at least she's still playing in the female league.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing unfair about it.
Yeah.
Presumably, she's not taking any hormones or anything that would make it unsafe or unfair. So that's a totally valid point. I will say it would be funnier if there was a trans woman in the WNBA who used to be like an NBA or college ball player and just like took HRT for a year and came down and just dunked on these women because, obviously I would oppose that because I don't support that, but they do. They will say like, "Oh yes, trans athletes are welcome, all genders are valid." I wanna see them get dunked on.
Yeah. I know, but the thing is because to the point of the left, because it's, like, so rare, I don't think many people have been exposed to it enough to see that it's actually happening, and that's why this has been such a hard battle to just, like, push common sense on because people don't really care unless it affects them, and n no mom's gonna care as much in California until their daughter's competing against a young boy. So,
Mhm.
I think we're gonna see this grow a lot more, and then there's gonna be a large pushback from it.
I also think it's interesting the extent to which the WNBA seems to view its, like, not really just as a sports league, but also as, like, a social force for social activism. That may
Yeah.
help explain their ratings.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know anything about basketball, but what I do know is that I have never met one person that watches the WNBA.
I have actually, I've met a couple people.
Really?
Yeah,
Oh.
lesbians.
Oh, well, that makes sense.
I don't know. I don't mean to be mean or like troll this person. I wish them a happy retirement. I just, I, the non binary thing is still a joke to me. You are not stunning and brave. You are not a pioneer just because you added they, them to your pronouns. And it does make a mockery of actual trans people. Non binary isn't trans. There's nothing trans about it. There's no diagnosis. There's no like none of the legitimacy to it that actually transsexual people experience. It's just a fad. It's just a personality. And if you just called it that, like, yeah, I have an androgynous personality, people would be like, sure, that's fine, okay. But when they push it, we make it this big deal and this ideology. I mean, it feels reductive. It feels sexist. Like, oh, well, I'm not feminine, so I can't be a woman. That's actually bad and wrong to believe and think. And then also, it feels performative and exploitative. Like they're trying to cash in on identity politics juice. Like, I
Yeah,
I really
it's
think it's that. And who knows?
sorry.
You could have made history as the first non-binary cheerleader, right? Just out of they them, like in whatever competition you were in, or were there already some?
There actually was one, and it was a trans person, and she really hates me because of the things that I've said. But, I mean, the thing is the non-binary thing is self-diagnosed. So you're essentially just saying, okay, I feel this way. My personality is quirky. Give me an award. That's what it is. You're getting an award for having a quirky personality and being a little bit androgynous. And like, that's cool. But I think that our time as a species is better spent rewarding merit-based behavior.
Yeah, and also I think there's something to be said about like identity-based pioneers when there's actual obstacles. So for example, I'm a big fan of the English Premier League, the European or English soccer competition. There are no openly gay players. It's a very um, they outwardly express support with dumb virtue signaling like rainbow armbands and stuff, but the internal locker room atmospheres are very homophobic because a lot of the players come from parts of the world with very homophobic beliefs, and a lot of them it's just it's a kind of a masculine, you know, toxic culture. So they can't be gay. They don't feel comfortable. They feel like their career would be harmed. There's many of them who are closeted, at least that's what I hear. But the first person to come out and be gay while actively playing would actually be doing something because they would actually be like overcoming barriers. There are no barriers to non-binary people.
Right. Yeah, identity-based awards can be beneficial when that specific identity is facing obstacles. I think that's a really good point. It's just in this specific case, there
The
are none.
obstacles are all in her head.
Yeah, I mean, the obstacle is the mustache, and she accomplished
I had to
that.
have my friends fill in my mustache does not make you Rosa Parks.
I guess she didn't accomplish it then.
All right, guys. Well, let us know what you think. Do you believe this woman is as stunning and brave as Jamel Hill and others in the media seem to think? Let us know in the comments. Hit that like button. Make sure you go and subscribe to Clarkson's YouTube channel, linked in the description. And with that, stay tuned for more Normal Gays content coming up soon.